Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito. Gabby Petito.
It kind of boils down to acceptability politics. Are these women of color acceptable and relatable? Because they definitely don't want to write about trans women. They don't want to write about the homeless. They don't want to write about missing women that are prostitutes. And they've done that forever. But when it comes to just not wanting to write about a missing or murdered Black, Indigenous, Latin woman because the media is saying that either the public doesn't want to hear about it or it's not going to bring in enough viewership, readership, or clicks. But when we are talking about something that affects us in real life as a national society, it would do us much better if we started to view all people as valuable and understand how that will affect communities if they see and feel that those that have been put in positions to protect and serve and investigate would actually do so at the same rate as they do as others who have always been elevated.
Missing white woman syndrome is both a reflection of a social hierarchy that exists in our society and then also reinforces it. So we have certain victims that, because we are more willing to accept their stories as victims or more willing to find them to be cases that are worth our attention, that comes with implications. It suggests that those cases were worth caring more about than others. And by proxy, that means that those lives are worth caring more about than others, which is obviously problematic.
It isn't about stealing attention away from anybody else. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, Gabby Petito never should have gotten that much coverage or she didn't deserve it. No, I think she should have that much coverage. I think we should have searched for her. I think we should be searching for Brian as much as everybody is. I'm not saying that if we are showing that we have one person, how much can we do for everybody else? How much can we do for people who feel as if they are not being paid attention to or that they're not valued? We're showing that we can. So I think a lot of people are saying, now you need to show that you will do it.
One of the reasons that we see a disproportionately white group of individuals who have gone missing get coverage is that as a society, we ascribe a sense of innocence to white victims that maybe we don't necessarily ascribe to people of color. So we see a white person go missing, and especially in this context, a white girl or a white woman, and we say that could have been my babysitter or my cousin or my neighbor. And we think that that person is worth caring about, and that case is worth caring about, and we want to know what happened to them. We want them to be safe. I think there are connotations as a society that maybe we're more readily willing to suspect that a person of color who goes missing somehow has been involved in wrongdoing that led to them going missing. And that sense of innocence might not be as strongly associated with that individual.
The public is responding to the news media and saying, how are you guys telling us that there's an issue with underreporting when it comes to Black and Indigenous and Latin and Hispanic women when you guys are the media? And it's a double-edged sword because journalists are journalists. We all have supervisors and we can pitch a story a million times, but unless the powers that be see value in that story doesn't get put up. I can understand being frustrated with the media as a whole, but we have to be careful with not being overwhelmingly frustrated with journalists who care. Because when you do care, but you do something that goes against whatever the norm is for your job or employment, you'll end up like that reporter. You'll be suspended or fired or put on leave or restricted or demoted. And people are careful to want to keep their jobs and they want to keep their careers. But I 100% support putting the pressure on the media